good morning, good evening. I was gonna do this in the morning, and I thought, well, not everybody has off like I do. So, hello, happy Monday. I'm just gonna hop onto my laptop so I can. Oh, there goes my sump pump. Sorry about that. That's what I get for having my craft room in the basement. Turn the volume down on this. Okay, and I can. Oops, turn it off. There we go. Okay, let's go back up here so I can read comments on my screen too. There we go. Okay, hello. When you hop on, throw up some hearts or say hello. I'm still experimenting with this arm that holds my camera. I'm having my coffee, but don't worry, I'm going to move it when I start to make the wreath. I did some prep work ahead of time, so it shouldn't take like 3 hours or anything, because I know everyone has stuff to do. Hi, Deborah, how are you? I'm nice and toasty warm now. My husband said, take the portable heater from out in the addition, so I got my heat going under the table. I'm nice and warm down here now. It is freezing out here. Freezing. It's like 10 degrees, or maybe even less by now. But first I'm going to show you some cute things I got. First I want to show you the ribbons that I got. I'm getting really bad with the ribbons. I think I might have a problem. Actually, first I'll show you the mesh, and then you can see why I bought the ribbons. Because it's not really mesh, it's burlap. I got some red, white, and blue burlap, so I can do an Americana, and I think I'm going to do it on a heart frame with the red, white, and the blue. So I have a ton of heart frames, so that should, excuse me, work out good. I gotta drink water, sorry. Ah, that tastes good. Alright, so then I got some Americana burlap ribbons, so I thought I can start early on an Americana wreath. So those are really cute. I like those. I get most of my supplies from Craft Outlet online, www.craftoutlet.com. She does have sales on stuff too, so. But I wanted to get. I've had a couple more people request football wreaths, so I got 2 of these. I can get more, but I got 2 of these. These are just blank helmets. I can paint them any way you like. I can't do like trademark stuff. I could, because I mean every wreath maker out there does it, but I don't want to. I don't want to get slapped with a fine if I get caught. So you may have seen the other Bill's wreath I did. I just painted the helmet red, and I wrote Go Bills on it, and because there's no logo on it or anything like that. So I could do whatever team you like, as long as it's not New England, because I won't do a New England one. No, I'm just kidding. So I have 2 of these, and I still have some football ribbon left, so I can easily make a football wreath for anyone that would like one. And then I got 1, 2, 3 of these. These are so cute. I've seen wreaths all over with this cute little hello on it, and I can paint it whatever color you would like your wreath. So these are adorable. I just saw one yesterday done in like a lime green. It was really, really soft, you know, a pastel-y lime green, really pretty. So I have 3 of these. I love this little sign. It's so cute. And then I bought a sign because I showed you the ribbon I bought the other night to do a dog wreath. So I found a sign, also at Craft Outlet. And it's cute. You can't buy love, but you can rescue it, because my dog is a rescue. So I thought, oh, I'm gonna do. I have to do this wreath. So this is gonna be for me. But I can order the sign if anyone else would like one. What else we got on here? Anybody else? Oh, let's see here. This stopped. Did I stop? Am I frozen? Am I frozen? I hope I'm not frozen. Let's see here. It says I'm live. I hope I'm not frozen. Oh, good. Okay. Maybe it was just my laptop stopped going, but all right. So there's those. So now I'm going to get on to this wreath. So this sign was requested. This Happy Valentine's Day sign. And I don't know if you can see, but this is like a burlap. So I'm going to use some burlap ribbon in here. So I picked out 4 ribbons to go with this sign. I'll put that right over here because I think, yeah, you can still see it. So there's the sign. And I cut off the ribbon that was holding it, and I've already glued on my cable tie mounts, which I use, I don't know if you can see them, but I use those to attach the pipe cleaners to put on the wreath. So I did that ahead of time, so we won't be messing with that. And I've already cut all my ribbon. So I've got these 2 ribbon here that I'm going to do together. And then this is one of the newer ribbons I bought. I just got in the other day with this one here. So we're going to have 4 different types of ribbon in this. And I'm playing off the burlap in the sign. But the wreath itself is going to be a red mesh, so we can get started on that. Now I'll show you, I pre-pipe cleanered my wreath form. So I've got all my pipe cleaners on here, and what I did, I think I'm going to put this video up on my YouTube, so if I have YouTube watchers watching when it goes up, welcome, and feel free to subscribe to the channel. I put pipe cleaners on the inside, this wire here, and this wire here, all the way around. And then I put one, whoops, on the second ring from the outside right in the center, and then I added a little dollop of glue there to hold it so it won't move. And we are going to do the poof method. So let me get my coffee out of the way. Because I don't want to spill coffee. Hi, Lily. I have my monster glue gun here, but I shut it off because it drips. I don't know if you can see if you can see that. You can't really see it too well, but it drips if it's just sitting here. So I shut it off, and I'm going to move that too because I don't want to get glue on anything right now. So let me move my ribbons out of the way. So this is just a 10-inch red mesh, which I got from Walmart on Christmas clearance. I grabbed up all the red they had, and I grabbed up all the burlap they had because I love working like that. So I'm going to try to aim this downward so you can see what I'm doing. And if I have to, I'll move it in closer. Okay, and I'm going to try to keep an eye over. Let's see here. That's pretty good. I'm going to be out of the frame a little bit, but that's not bad. So I have my frame here. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to start, I'm just going to take the end and kind of pull it all together like this. And kind of fold it under. Okay? Like that. And I'm going to start on the inside ring. So I'm going to open up one of these pipe cleaners here. And I'm going to fasten that like that. Okay? So we're attached to our frame. And then let me move my ribbon because I'm going to be hitting it if I don't. So my mat has measurements on it. And sometimes I eyeball it, but usually I will try to measure it. And I just kind of grab about 10 inches of the mesh. I'll go up here like this. I grab about 10 inches like this or so, okay? And I'm going to attach it to my next inside ring pipe cleaner. We're going to go around the inside, the outside, and then I'm going to do a little zigzag with it to cover up more of this frame. Okay? And then you can fluff it out as you're going if you want. Hi guys, I appreciate you coming on with me. Say hello. Okay, so again, I'm going to start at the 10 here and pull it out to 20 so I can... And don't worry, I will go back through the comments. It's just I want to, I don't want to keep you guys any longer than I have to. And really, you only have to... I like these pipe cleaners because they're very strong. You really only have to twist them once because we are going to go back through them again. So, like I said, you pull it out about 10 inches, grab it here, that's your poof. And I've learned from several different wreath makers, but the one I learned this particular one from is Debbie from Debbie's Wreaths and Things. I looked her up on YouTube, so if I confuse you, look her up. She makes it very clear. And she usually puts her mesh on the floor. I could put it on my wreath roller, actually. It would probably work better, but I usually just use that when I'm cutting for either ruffles or curls. I make it look easy, Michelle? Oh God. I hope I help someone out that's trying to learn how to do it. Because I remember when I was doing it, I used to get so frustrated. I mean, I'm sure people didn't intend to not make it clear, but they were just so used to doing it, it just came so easy for them. So, I still struggle, honestly, I do. Matching ribbons, you know, some days just nothing looks right and you get frustrated, but I always like to open these up so I can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so now I'm back to the beginning again. So I'm going to open up that pipe cleaner without hopefully that falling out and stick this in here. If you're not comfortable opening it again, don't. Just put it right on top. It's not going to matter. I just like to pull it nice and tight because that is my starting point. Okay, so now we're going to do the outside ring. And I'm not sure how everyone else does it, but this is just how I do it. I just kind of bring it over to this pipe cleaner over here. And if anything, it's just covering up another piece of the... It's just covering up another piece of the frame, right? So I just pull it tight. It doesn't waste a lot of the mesh to do this, so now we're going to try to keep this center ring one out of the way. Even if you don't keep it out of the way, you can go back and pull it through when you're done. But so I'm going to go from this outer to this outer, again doing 10 inches. And if you're one of those people that can eyeball it, that's great. I like to measure it because usually I'm working on a budget and I don't have spare mesh to waste. So, and then we just kind of open that up. This is actually one of the nicer meshes I've gotten from Walmart. Some of them are really almost on the same par as the Dollar Tree mesh, but this one's not too bad. Oh, I have to go to Christmas tree shop, Michelle. I haven't, I just have not felt like going out at all. I only went up to Tops the other night because I had to. It's just so cold. And now tomorrow I gotta go back out in it, but hopefully it won't be as bone chilly as it's been. I did go out and shovel you know, cleaned up the driveway and the sidewalk and took my neighbor's garbage cans in for him and all that stuff today. But other than that, I have just been a homebody. I was cooking today. Last night I baked, as you know, right? Okay. Well, I'm getting really toasty with this heater. I was used to this other old-fashioned heater I had down here. I'm so glad my husband had me take the good one from upstairs because it is freezing down here without it. So you can see it's sort of starting to kind of take shape here. Okay. 10 inches, poof it, and attach it. This has really become my favorite method for doing a wreath a little more quickly. Because, I mean, face it, if you're going to do curls or ruffles or whatever, you got to take time and cut all of them. Then you got to attach them. This one is nice if you don't want to do any cutting at all. Well, there's also the pull-through method, too, which is great when you have the smaller Dollar Tree mesh. I've never done pull-through with 10-inch mesh. I suppose it's done, but I've never done it. Okay, I'm almost back to my starting point. Almost back there. My mesh will start to stick to itself. I don't like when that happens. Okay. So I'm back to my first one again. I'm going to unwrap this. Because I'm going to be using ribbon in some of these pipe cleaners. Well, maybe I won't unwrap it because it's not unwrapping for me. So I'm just going to go in right on top of it. Okay, so now the outer and the inner is done. But there's still a lot of holes in this, as you can see. So we're going to do a diagonal. And I'm going to take this, I don't want to go back into this one again, so I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to do the 10 inches over to this center one. And then the rest of these are only going to be probably about 6 to 8 inches, because we're just, this one's going to come up through here, because we're going to finish off there. Okay. Alright. So we're back to an inner ring right now. Now we're going to go to this middle one that we haven't used yet. So we're only going to do, I mean, I just did 10 inches, so I could do 5, but I think I'm going to go 6. I'm going to go 6 inches, so about to here. We're just going to do a little poof, maybe 8. Maybe 8 inches. I'll go to 8 inches. Just do a little poof. And we're going to go to this one here. Give it a good twist. Okay. Then we're going to go, we're going to take our 8 inches, and we're going to go to the inside. And again, you can undo the pipe cleaner if you want. I'm not going to today. Okay. And open this up. Alright. Another 8 inches. Back to this center one here. So we're just kind of like crisscrossing over top of everything to try to fill in some of those blank areas. But we are going to be putting a sign on here. We're going to be putting ribbons on here. We're going to put a bow on here. So I just hate, like, when I go to Michael's, and it's nothing against Michael's, but some of the project wreaths they do, if you look at them, my gosh, you can see all the wire, and it's not even, I don't know how you could spend that kind of money on a wreath where you can see all the wire. Hi guys, I'm so happy you're joining me. I would have gone on earlier, but I really wanted to prep a lot of this stuff before I came on, because I didn't want to be sitting on here wasting your time with cutting ribbon and putting the pipe cleaners on and all that stuff. But some night I'll do a video just on that, because if you're just starting out, you're looking at the wreath form going, now where do you put this and what do you do with that? And it gets very overwhelming. So again, we're just doing a diagonal, about 8-inch poof right here, from that extra pipe cleaner we put on in the center back to the center ring. Just to, and you can see how it's filling in. It's filling in really nicely, I think. Oops. Now see, this pipe cleaner is not where I want it. Gotta get it back. But now you can see why we glue that extra pipe cleaner on there, because otherwise it would be shifting all over the place, and you don't want that. I also like this method because I can tend to get away with using only one roll of mesh, which is nice, especially if you're working on a budget. That's always nice. I've also seen, and I'm going to attempt it one of these nights, is using the Dollar Tree mesh. Of course, you're going to have to use several rolls of it, but putting 3 colors together and doing it all together, and it really came out looking nice, so I'm going to have to attempt that one, because I have a ton of Dollar Tree mesh. Okay, I'm trying to keep this in the shot. It's very, very difficult for me to keep watching all over the place. Okay, so we're coming back to this one here. 8 inches. And it doesn't matter if it's not exact, really, because I don't think anyone's going to measure your poofs. I don't think the wreath police are going to come and measure your poofs. Okay, now we're almost done. Okay, now this was our starting point, but I still have a center one over here I have to utilize. So, okay, we're going to go back. Now this is where this is all kind of crisscrossed across here. We might end up putting our bow there. That's what's nice, is because if you're going to put a bow on here, you can kind of pick the area that's kind of wonky looking. Okay. So this one here, we're going to fasten to this last pipe cleaner. Alright. What I'm going to do with this is, because I don't want to, well, I could go back over there, but I don't really want to, because I don't want this to be all uneven. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out about, I don't know, 3 inches. About 3 inches or so. And I'm going to snip this. Alright, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to pull it through the back of the wreath, where nobody's going to see it. But if you really want to, and I have done this before, I'm going to take a little pipe cleaner here and just fasten it off in the back. And I can even cut more, I can even trim more off of it if I want. Okay. Alright. So, this is our wreath base. Okay. It's pretty, it's pretty full. It's pretty, and we are going to put ribbon in it. So, I'm going to start doing that. Now, our sign is going to go right in the center like that. But I'm not going to put that on until I'm all done with the ribbon. And we might add some tubing to it, and who knows. So, since I have all this, I'm going to use these two together. And I'm going to use these two together. And what I did was, I don't anyway, but people who love a lot of ribbon, I generally don't use these outside things for my ribbon. I use the center and that one we glued on. So, I'm going to start with, I'll start with this one. And I dovetailed all these. I used to do a really, really dramatic dovetail, and now I've gone to a more subtle one. I just like the way it looks a little better. So I just lay these on top of each other, and I fold them in half, and I'm going to find the center. And if you squeeze wired ribbon, you're going to find the center right away. And then I just kind of smush it all together like this, and I'm going to lay it right in one of these pipe cleaners, and I'm going to tighten it. Okay, and you really only have to give it one twist. So there's one like that, okay? And then I'm going to go to my other one, whoops, which is just a plain burlap ribbon. It's wired. And this one here. Center it in there, fold it in half, pinch to find your center. Doesn't, like I said, doesn't have to be exact. This isn't an exact, you know. Fold it in the middle, and I kind of fold it like this. So it's like that. And then I'm going to go to my center. And you'll notice some of these pipe cleaners are pink because I ran out of red. I'm sorry, but but you won't see them. So you tighten that down and give it a twist. Okay. And we're going to go around and kind of puff these out when we're all done. Okay. I'm losing my comments on this side. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with this laptop. Oh, because I have the text size turned up really high, and I shouldn't. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to this one, and I could, you know, I could really just go all around the center and then all around the outside, couldn't I? So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And then we're going to make a pretty bow with our ribbons. Now, these two ribbons are from Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree carries this one all the time, and you see this one once in a while. Sometimes it's in blue as well, but these two are Dollar Tree ribbon. This one is a craft outlet ribbon, and this one I believe was Walmart ribbon. So we're kind of running the gauntlet with different types of ribbons here. But I really just wanted to bring out that kind of burlap look in the sign, so I went with the red. Okay. And I'm just going to keep going around just like this. I'm going from the inner to the center, to the inner to the center. I tend to not use the outside ones unless I'm doing a really big wreath. Then I will use up to 6 different ribbons. But my budget isn't as large as some people's budgets, so most of the ribbons I get are on sale, or like I said, they come from Dollar Tree, Dollar General. Dollar General's had a lot of nice ribbons lately. Really like them. But I tend to go with, I do like the 1 inch, the 1.5 inch ribbon. A lot of my wreaths do have that size in it, but I do like the look of taking a 2.5 inch ribbon and pairing it with a smaller ribbon. It adds some dimension, I think, to the wreath. That's just me. So what's everyone up to tonight? Is there anything exciting going on that I should know about? I just made a delicious dinner. I don't know if you saw the pictures on my personal Facebook page. It was a creamy garlic mushroom chicken thighs, all on the stove in one pot. It was so good. And then I oven roasted some broccoli with some olive oil, again some garlic, and some fresh grated Parmesan cheese. Well, not fresh grated, but I bought it, you know, I didn't buy the kind in the plastic can, you know. I bought the deli grated. trying to keep track of comments here. Feel free to share the video as well. If you have friends that you think might get some value out of it, I always appreciate a share. I had a bit of a nagging headache earlier, so I took some Advil, but I think a lot of it is I haven't been drinking as much water as I should, and I really should be drinking more water. And there's probably, you know, this cold front that came through probably is not helping me much. My dinner looked good. Oh yes, it did. It did, didn't it, Claudia? And the kids liked it too, which is always a plus. You know, usually the first thing out of my son's mouth tonight was, "Mom, is there zucchini in tonight's dinner?" Because they hate the zucchini. My oldest daughter likes the zucchini. The younger two don't like it. And I'm lucky with Mike because he eats everything that I put in front of him. So. Yeah, I like how these ribbons look. This is going to be cute. And we could also put some red tubing. I have to, they do make burlap, it looks like burlap jute tubing. It always seems to be out of stock when I want to order it, but next time I can get some, I'm going to get some because that looks really nice in the burlap wreaths, I think. You like these, Michelle? I like these too. I like them. Yes, I do like these ribbons. I think these were a decent choice for this one. I'm still working on that monster swag I showed you in my last live. I haven't added to it yet. I don't know, sometimes I get to a point in a project, if it's not for me, I just let it go. Or if it's for me, I just kind of let it go. I think I cut too many. Either I cut too many or I missed one. And if I missed one, I'm going to be really ticked off. Yep, I missed one. See what happens when I'm talking? When I'm multitasking? It's terrible. I would have noticed it when it was all done, but I noticed now that I had some leftover stuff here, and yeah, so I missed one. So I just got to shift everything over. No worries. No worries. I should have known when I started going on the outside with this pattern, but I didn't. My bad. The nice thing with pipe cleaners is you can pull them off. Did any of you guys notice that I did that? And if you didn't tell me, shame on you. No, it's okay. Happens all the time. It's not a big deal. I'm just moving it from one to the other. There, we're almost caught up now. How's that? Almost caught up. It's kind of like when you're putting something together and you have pieces left over and you go, wait a minute. But this one, fortunately, is not as, you know, as big of a deal as that. So, all right. This one goes here. See how quick we did that? Yeah, Claudia, I like tubing too. I especially like it like in Halloween wreaths because you can really, you know, make a wreath look super funky just by adding some tubing to it. Alright. Last ribbon. Last ribbon. And that's going to go on this one here. I mean, inevitably somewhere some ribbon's going to get covered with a bow, but, you know, it's not really a big deal. So there are all our ribbons on, and I used to separate them all into like big X's, but the kind of consensus now is to just, you know, open them a little bit and just let them all face outwards, especially if you're putting a sign on a wreath. And since these are two different sized ribbons, you don't really even have to separate them that much. You just kind of, you pull up on them and it gives them a nice little curl. Especially this one here, because it's a stiffer ribbon, because it's a burlap ribbon. You can feel there's like a stiff coating on it. It's really nice. So that's really all you have to do all the way around it. So here we got this. So now I'm going to move this back a little bit so I can see you, you can see me, and I can hold the rest up as I'm doing it, but I don't want to be completely out of the shot here. There we go. Alright, so we're going to put this on, and how we do that is I put those little zip tie things on the back here. You just run your pipe cleaner through there, or you can use floral wire. I have used floral wire depending on the wreath, and you just attach it like that. See that? There's some glue on it. And then you decide where you want to place your wreath, or your sign on your wreath, and you just kind of feed the pipe cleaner through the mesh into the frame. So what I usually do is I kind of hold up my wreath and try to decide where my bow is going to go, because let's see, this is where we had that little extra piece, so that's probably where my bow is going to go. I don't know. Yeah, probably. So and when I put a hanger on my wreath, I like to utilize, like I might even utilize this piece here for the hanger. So we're going to say this is the top of the wreath right here. So we want the sign right in the center. And let me move all my pipe cleaners out. Some of those I'm gonna trim off. A lot of them I pull them through the back, tie them off, and then I'll cut them. So I want to, if that's the center, I want to kind of put this like this, and I want to go between my poofs to find my frame. Okay. And I kind of hold this side while I'm feeding this side through, because I want to make sure that the sign is fairly even. You know, I don't want, I mean, sometimes it looks kind of whimsical if it's off center, but I'm just going to tighten this one down lightly before, actually I could attach it right to this bar. I'm just going to do it lightly because everything can be moved. And then there's another crossbar over here I can use. But let me just put this through here. I'm probably going to put a bow there. That's where my mesh cutoff was, because I'll probably put a bow right there. So let's turn this over. And if you find your signs moving around too much, you can always put a little dollop of hot glue on that spot where you attached it to the frame. And just twist the pipe cleaner. Okay. That's going to have to be tightened up. Definitely going to have to be tightened up. I'm not going to use this center bar over here, just because I'm going to end up putting glue on it, I think, because I don't want the heart to be crooked. And then I just kind of try to push as much of this mesh up, because it fills in the wreath too, if you do that. Okay. Alright, and that's what we have so far. There's going to be some tweaking and adjusting and whatever, but this wreath is actually for a friend of mine, so alright, so we're going to get a bow started, and of course I'm going to trim off all these pipe cleaners, but yeah, I'm going to end up putting a little dollop of glue on the back to keep the sign from slipping on the pipe cleaners here, because I might not have to. I got a couple bars here that I can kind of fasten them to. Okay. All right. So here's this so far. I'll move back if I can. There we go. I love all the ribbons because it kind of makes it a little whimsical. But we can separate some of these ribbons. And we can have some of them standing straight up and other ones curved and whatever. But that's just, that's just finessing it afterwards. So let me set that aside and we're going to get a bow going. Oh, sip of coffee. Gotta have my coffee. I'm gonna get my lovely Pro Bow, the hand. This is like the only, I shouldn't say it's the only bow maker I use. I do have a Bodabra, which makes some really cute bows too, but I have been using this all the time. The maker of it, Regina Sellers, she's the sweetest lady. You gotta look her up on YouTube and watch her videos. I love listening to her talk. I'm going to do what they call a 4-bow terry bow. Usually a terry bow has 6 ribbons in it. I'm gonna do 4 ribbons, and there was a tutorial on this. I think Trendy Tree did it? I can't remember. But I'm going to do 4 ribbons. And this is called a terry bow because the person who invented it, her name was Terry. So, or is Terry. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to use my 2... I'm going to start with, I'll start with this big red ribbon. And I need I use this little floral wire that I got, oh, where did I order this from? I don't remember. I believe it's 24 gauge or 26 gauge floral wire. 26 gauge, and I usually measure it out to about the size of my board here. And because these are all thick ribbons, I'm going to use 2 of these. One of these is going to be, oops, sorry, I just shook the whole table doing that. One of these is going to be the main wire to hold it all together, and the other one's going to be like a helping wire, or as Regina calls it, her little helping hand. So I just love her. I don't know if she realizes how grateful I am to her for this board, but okay. So we're going to start out, well, I'm not going to try to teach you the terry bow. You guys can follow along if you want. I will, let's do this down here so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to cut, oh, I don't want to use this. I try not to use my ribbon cutting scissors for anything with metal or anything on it, so yeah, this bow is going to have 4 ribbon in it, which is the 4 ribbons we used in the wreath. And I know a lot of people can make great bows by hand, and if you can, God bless you, but you know what? And I hate admitting it, but I have arthritis. I'm getting arthritis in the hands, and I just can't do it. So I love anything that makes this easier for me. Okay. All right, and I'm gonna trim my dovetails as I go, so I'm not doing it later. Okay, and this one's just gonna go right up there to the center. And this is so easy to do. Although I'm sure I make it look a lot harder than it really is, but she does it so fluidly, and I don't. Actually, I don't know that I wanted to start with this ribbon. I really didn't want to start with this ribbon, because this is, well, it's alright. No, that's okay. This is the fatter ribbon, but that's okay. We can put this one in the center, and then it might show a little more because of the red mesh. If it was on the outside, it might not show as much. So now this is where that second piece of wire comes in, and I should have done this ahead of time, but I did not. So I usually fold it in half so I know where the center is. Okay, I drop this down through. She'd probably laugh if she saw me doing this, because she is, like I said, she's so fluid at it, and here I am bumbling around my board here, but come here, little piece of wire. Maybe I'll go up through this way. My little helping hand is not helping me very much right now. There we go. Okay. I want to bring this right through the middle. Like I said, these ribbons are very full and very stiff, and it's going to get hard to. We're basically stacking this ribbon one on top of each other, so I'm just going to use that to help me out. Okay, there's one. Yeah, tiny bows. Claudia, well, you did floral work, so I'm sure you had to tie your share of bows. Did you guys have any kind of bow maker to help you do that, or no? It would have been nice if they would have given you one. Let me use this ribbon next. I'm just trying to alternate big, small, so. This one's going to go straight up and down. Straight up and down. Kind of keep this one out of my way. Like I said, there's a ton of different recipes for these. No, just your hands. Yeah, see, now that's why Regina Sellers invented this contraption here, because she used to work in florals too, and same thing, they would tie all these bows by hand, and it just got to be ridiculous, you know. So she's like, I gotta do something, and you know, between her and her husband, they came up with this idea. It's fully patented, so you know, if you ever see one someone selling something similar and it's not Pro Bow the hand and it doesn't say patented right on the board, it's not a Pro Bow. I mean, that's just like that. That's like stealing someone else's work, you know. So I'm going to tighten that off. This out here. And don't worry if the tails aren't the same length, because you can always fix those too. I've never made a bow with this heavy of burlap ribbon, so we'll see how it turns out. I've had bows where I've made them and just ended up not using them for their intended purpose because I just didn't like how it looked. I had a couple of them like that. Just squishing this up here. Okay. Because there's a right side and a wrong side to ribbon. This one, not so much, but the curl of it is one way and not the other, so, and I think I'm actually doing this backwards. No, I'm not. And if I am, like I said, this one, there really is no right side to it. But it is going to be, tough because it is such, you know, I'm not even gonna fold that because, like I said, this one you can't really tell the difference, and it is such a heavy burlap material that okay. Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah. Claudia, I don't know how you did it. There's some little bows that I can do, and like funky bows I can do by hand, and that's great, but for the most part I'd rather have this doing most of the holding and the working for me. I even have a fluff box to tie it to fluff it out, but usually I'll just put it right on the wreath. But if I'm making a bow for something else and I don't have a wreath to attach it to fluff it, I'll use the fluff box, and that's perfect. I mean, okay, so this one and this one, the tails can be a little longer because it's the last one. So get back up there. I've just found that one of these days I'm going to do the big 6 ribbon terry bow, but I just haven't, I have not been brave enough to try to match up 6 ribbons to do that one. Okay, because that's our last one. Like I said, I may end up trimming some of these tails even smaller. I don't know yet. Okay, so then we're gonna take that little helper hand and kind of move it out of the way, and we're gonna bring our original ribbon, our original wire, and we're gonna give it a nice tight twist, because we don't want this bow falling apart, because I have had a bow or two fall apart on me that I didn't twist them tight enough, and these lift right up off of here. So now you got a nice stacked, it's all stacked, real nice. So now we can pull it all out. Let me get this off of here. Whoops. I don't want to lose my pegs. I'm going to put everything in a little baggie so I don't lose it. Pro Bow goes back here. Okay. All right. So my fluff box is buried, so I'm going to put it right on the wreath, and then we'll show it to you. So I want my bow up here, I think, because there's kind of a space. There's a space right there. So I'm going to get it on my wreath. I'm just going to try to weave all these wires together. Okay. And I want it right here because I do have a hole in my wreath. It happens. It happens. But between the ribbon that's already on the wreath and this bow, it's not going to show much longer. So, and this is kind of the wonky section where and I may adjust the sign too when I'm all done. But this is where I want this bow. So I'm just going to attach it. I'm going to attach it tight because I'm going to be pulling and yanking on it. And I don't cut anything yet because, okay, let's see this. All right. So you want to have a loop going this way and a tail going this way. Okay? And then this other loop going this way and this other tail going this way when you open these up. Okay? So there's the start of our bow. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to pull this one over here and that tail over here. And then we open this one up. And since this tail came this way, we want this tail to go this way. And then this one here, and this one over here, and that is your bow. So, oops. And you can play, you mess around with it. Like what I do is I hang it up to take my pictures, and I'll step back and I'll go, oh, that doesn't look right, or I need to trim that off, or whatever. But that is, let's do this. Let's bring it back up here, back to the land of the living here, and that's what we have. Now I may shift this sign a little bit so that it tilts a little bit more. I'm going to have to trim off all my pipe cleaners. I might put some of these cute little red hearts around my wreath. See, I got these cute little red hearts here, or I've got a big red heart, so I could put a big red heart in there somewhere too, or even have them sticking out of the bow. I could do all kinds of stuff with that. So that is our Valentine's wreath with this sign, and this is for my friend Beverly. Beverly, if you tune in or you watch a replay, when I posted my huge wreath that I did last year for my door, you wanted it. Well, this is the same sign. It's not as huge as that wreath, because that one was that was a freak of a wreath. Holy cow, it was so big it's hanging like actually on the front of my house. I put lights in it. It's just huge. So this one I will open up a lot of these ribbons and move them to where they're might be kind of camouflaging some spots. I might have some of the ribbons hang down. I don't know yet. I haven't decided, but that is your basic Valentine's wreath. And see, it really isn't that hard. Once you've done it a couple times, it's not that difficult to do. I mean, this isn't like your premium wreath maker's wreath, but this is, this is what you can do with some Dollar Tree, Dollar General, clearance ribbon from Christmas tree shops and Joann's. So don't think you can't do it, because you can. You can. So So that's our wreath making adventure for tonight. I still have to finish that monster swag over there. And I still have a Valentine wreath to do with conversation hearts in it. For you, Nicole, if you're watching. And then I'm going to start on Easter and spring, because it'll be here before you know it, we hope, right? So I thank you guys for coming on tonight. I'm going to save this video, put it on my YouTube channel. I haven't done anything with YouTube in a while, so I better upload it there. And it'll be saved there in case Facebook has another one of their video cleaning splurges that they go through every now and then. So, alright, so I will give you a warning next time I come live. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you sharing. And if you have any questions, make sure you ask me down below. Oh, you guys are the best, Deborah. Thank you. Make sure you put them down below or inbox me if you don't want to do that, and I'll do my best to answer them for you. So have a good night, everyone.